Bismillah, alhamdulillah, salatu wassalamu ala Rasulullah. Today we're talking about a very sensitive topic. You cannot imagine, your parents, that your child goes into that route. So I want to talk about suicide. Suicide is when some person uses a means to be killed by his own will, or he try to finish his life and succeed in that. So it's a very painful condition for the parents. So what leads the child to do all that? So the most important thing is when children are going from their teens or teenage years, when they enter further, they are very emotional. They are exploring the people, they are exploring the environment, and they don't know how to deal with the situation. So there is overwhelming responsibility on the sense that they have to learn everything. So this is a stage where you're going to be into the world. So coming that much story, it can definitely lead a situation where child cannot be able to handle it and they commit suicide. Most of people, they try to be killed through the drowning in the water, going into some well, hitting themselves with a bullet, or try to hang by the ceiling to finish his life. So it's so much like problematic option, and why the child goes into that. That's a very important question. As I said, the system the child is going into is not favorable. So if something is being said or done against his will, he don't know what to do with it. So the only way he sees that to come out of the situation, I should leave this world. And this has been happening in many schools. So you can imagine how vulnerable they are. Even when you enter the medical school, a boy came in the first year, and everybody was teasing him as a like new people come in, they try to fool them, and kids get upset. So what happens is that he was so much emotional in the situation. He was crying left and right that I'm not being treated the way I should be treated. So he left the medical college just for that sake. Then I'm not doing medical school. So you can imagine what kind of risks or problems they can create for themselves. So if you go into the adolescence, so adolescence is usually considered like in two forms. The first form is known as concrete thinking, and the second one is abstract thinking. So concrete thinking is that 2 plus 2 is 4. So everything they count is very linear. 10 plus 10 is 20. Or, I will go that place and I will get this job or this work. So they're very straightforward. They say everything honestly. This is problematic in time that sometimes you can face certain situations, you don't know how to deal with it. Suppose you're like 15-year-old and you're beaten up outside by like 25-year-old, bullied. You don't understand that in this misery, what should I do? So it's very painful. To come out of it is not easy. So you can imagine what of pain these kids have. In abstract thinking is that you go into multiple directions or dimensions. For example, if 2 plus 2 is 4, then after getting the opportunity of 2, you can lead somewhere like 5. Or from 2, you can lead to 7. From 7, you can go to 11. So there are multiple branches coming out the options. So try to explore and try to make sure that I do good in that. And then you go to other people, try to ask, what they should do in life. And people make them understand that they grasp on it. So they try, mostly they are better in terms of sensibility and being maturities. They are considered responsibilities. So families tend to put responsibilities on these kids. So they go out and try to do all their chores, etc. And now, I give you a couple of examples. So in my village, there is a kid, a very naughty boy, running around left and right, and he is the center of every public events or places. He used to enjoy, he used to go left and right, but it's very naughty. And the whole village is loving this guy. And suddenly one day, his brother, he just scolded him, saying that you are not supposed to do this, and family had a little issue with him. They didn't want him to go to a place or things where he went. So when he was being abused by the family, he just didn't know what to do. So he went on a road and went to a well away from a village. And then he was not found anywhere. So people were looking for him, and everywhere, left and right, trying to find out, putting like answers. So some people said that we have seen him going this direction, that way. People try to find his direction and where he could be. So his feet signs or their footprints were going to a well. So they saw that there are footsteps which are going to the well, but it didn't go anywhere else. So then the people from the village, they led it into the well and tried to explore, and they were able to take his body out. So this is a very typical example. There's another I know from the village, that a kid was like in his early teens and his uncle scolded him for some reason, and he did the same thing. He killed himself. And the other condition could be that if you don't have a father, so you may not be monitored by properly or given training, these kids are on their own and can cause this problem. Other problems could be the alcohol and other drugs. So the kids who do these risky behaviors, they can go into this mode and try to get rid of themselves when they die. So it's very important that the kids should know their direction, where they are going, and how they can protect from the negative effects. So you have to look into the situation in the school, in the house, on the market, in the bazaar, to make sure that if he is not in the right position, we should try to teach them, we try to bring them out. So if people see kids in the primary school even, they're upset on the coming and crying instead in front of the parents. And parents don't know what to do. But some parents now, they go to the school and try to resolve it. So I think we have to put lots of efforts. So in well-taught visit, what we do is, when child comes and we see the right age, like 10 to 15 years somehow, we try to find his situation. So we try to see that what kind of activities he has. Like, does he take any, like drugs, or is he doing alcohol, he's doing risky behaviors, he is in sexual intimacy, they have relationship with other people. So as a doctor, you keep the things in private. And now doctor has the capability to find out which problem amongst these could be problematic for the child. So what should I use to say, except that this is the only way we find at this time, is the doctor's responsibility at what age and time, what should be provided, what kind of support they have. Similarly, in the United States, they have helplines where if a kid don't know what to do, he just call that place and they guide the person, or they reach the person and counsel them, and sometimes admit them, and ultimately the pushing can be resolved. But in a Muslim society, if you look at our setup and culture, we have strong feeling that kids are not supposed to commit suicide, and these kids usually understand.